What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Dipito Show, your gateway to the thrilling world of crypto. My name is Simon, aka Simon Says Crypto. Along to my side is the most fantastic co-host on the East Coast and the Midwest, and on the West Coast, and of course the South. And we are stoked to bring to you folks tonight the faces of crypto. Melissa?
Absolutely. We've got 2 hours of inspiring stories and practical tips with 4 incredible guests. We have a curious crypto investor and a builder and an educator, an X-Spaces host dipping his toe into liquidity pools and more. And we have a developer creating a humanitarian blockchain project.
Dude, that sounds sweet. We're also going to be talking about that big topic we've been talking about for the past few segments, wallets. So wallet security, self-custody versus custodial solutions. We're also going to have the guests touch on crypto, the future of crypto, where they might see it going. They're amazing projects, and a bonus hour of live chat on Spaces. Make sure you join us there.
Oh, it's going to be fun. Whether you're a new or a crypto veteran, join us to learn, laugh, and explore blockchain. Please take the time right now to hit that like button, share and subscribe, and get ready to dip a toe.
Let's go!
Oh, welcome to Dipito. How you doing, Simon?
Oh, man, it is a wonderful, wonderful hump day. I'm doing very good. How about your beautiful self?
I'm doing fantastic. I think we're starting to get a hang of the quick 1-minute intros.
Yeah, quick. That's very brand new for us. Quick and short. That's very brand new for us, for you and I on this Dipito show. We don't do quick and short.
No, it's very funny. Hey guys, we've got 44 people listening to the stream already. That's fantastic, you guys. We got True Ducal in the house, and X Lloyd and MM. Who else we got? Do you see who I see in here, Simon?
We got the Stone, and I know that's probably his 5th pot of coffee to stay up with us tonight. Appreciate the love, Stone. Really do. Let's see who else we got. Becky Forbes in the house tonight. Christian, what's good, man? We got the lovely and awesome winner, Optimistic Prime, in the house. I love that. Yeah.
We got
What you got? What? I know James Ray up in this business.
James Ray wants you in your AI form. He's crushing on your AI photo.
Hey, I'm crushing on my AI form, man. I mean, it's like, let me get the hair back. Just let me get the hair. I don't even care if it's gray. Let me get that hair. That hair is beautiful, very beautiful. All right, enough about being conceited.
XRP Renegades in the house too. Hey, how you doing? 68J in the house.
68J,
we love you. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you.
Gotta be up in this business as well. Mr. Gotta Be. Yo, let's go, brother. We got Stir Crazy. Stir Crazy's in the house tonight.
Susan Roblin.
Hey, Propster crazy.
You know what?
Way
Susan
to stay on
Roblin,
point.
I see Susan Roblin everywhere, and Susan is winning. She's a winner. She wins everything. She's doing great. Lisa A, what's up? Oh, Mr. Zam's in the house too. Okay. Now we got 66 people. Please hit the like button on the YouTube. If you're watching on X, please head over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get up to 1,000 followers, and it's been really difficult. So if you would help us out, we'd really appreciate it. This evening, we're continuing our series on the faces of crypto, and we have 4 fantastic guests that are joining us. We have a variety of folks here. We have Kombucha, a passionate learner that's exploring crypto's depths. We also have a builder educator, building projects and teaching others in Nerdy X. A lot of you may know him from the Uncle Buster coffee and crypto in the boardroom with Uncle Buster and Berserker. And we also have Steak and Bake. Steak and Bake is doing some fantastic X spaces, dipping his toe into liquidity pools and more.
Facts.
I'm losing my voice. And finally, we have Lady Dev, who has some fantastic projects that she's working on in regards to donations and humanitarian efforts. And so we want to welcome you all to the Dip a Toe Show. How's everybody doing?
Awesome.
Great.
Fantastic.
Doing great.
I love that, man. 3 awesomes, a fantastic, and a great on a hump day, man. Let's go.
And the charts
man.
agree. Hey,
I mean, and the charts agree. Hey, no, real quick, Melissa, I don't mean to cut you off, but Nerdy, what's good, man? I've seen you on a few different shows, probably about a couple years ago with Mr. Man, if I'm not mistaken, and Mr. Aquaman talking some DeFi stuff as too, man. So awesome to see you here, man. Loved your insight on all those shows that I watched in the dark, in the background, in the closet, in my mom's basement. But nonetheless, I had a good time. So welcome, man. Good to see you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on
as well.
Nah. Well, we kind of already told everybody, those of you who don't know, there's a lot of dip-a-toers out here who don't know all of you. So I thought we'd go around the room, starting with Steak and Bake, and just give a brief introduction of yourself.
Yeah, Steak and Bake, originally from New York City. I'm a city boy, big city boy. Born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens. Father of 3. Moved out to Florida back in 2003. Took me 2 years after 9/11 to get my butt out of the city, and came all the way down to Florida to Tampa Bay. So been loving it since then. Haven't looked back. My oldest is 29, who gave me a grandson in December.
Congratulations,
man. That's fire, man.
And then my son's the middle child, and he's 20. He's turning 24 this year. And then I got my little one, who's 8 years old, and she is my total focus right now. She demands quite a bit of attention. So
she's the fun one, right? You get
the
more
fun one. She's the one who's in crypto. She's all about the crypto.
Yeah.
I was on that marathon space you did for Optimistic the other night, and you said she hung out the entire time. Bless her heart.
She didn't want to leave my side. She was watching the wind, the spinning wheels and stuff like that. So she was like, "What's this?" And I was telling her, and then I was showing her like the different NFTs everybody was winning, and she was sitting there calling out the traits. This is what's wild about her. Like, she doesn't know NFTs, but she knows traits. Like, she was calling out, oh yeah, like everything on there, like stuff I didn't even realize. I was like, holy smokes. I was like, dude, you got a really good eye. I was like, I'm going to keep you around. I was like, that's a rare trait right there, you pointed out. But she loves Lady Dev. Yeah, she gets to hang out. She knows CKJ. She knows Mr. Zam. And Devon NRG. Even when they call, she like knows their voices and stuff like that. When we're on
That's cool.
Spaces and Lady Dev jumps in, she knows their voice. So it's pretty cool, man, to see her get like super involved with it. And one thing I noticed, like today, she came home with a notice, right? And on this piece of paper had mentioned that the kids are going to start learning coding.
What?
Coding.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it like I got super excited about
She'll be teaching the class.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you know
Pretty
who
much.
my dad
Should be
is?
all about it. Yeah. I don't know anything about coding. I leave all the coding up to the geniuses on the
Yeah.
XRPL and elsewhere. For the most part, I'm here to support them. I work closely with XRZillas and CKJ on the XBF project. So I'm more or less like the community manager. I'm not a dev by any means. So when you see Steak and Bake, just understand he's not a developer at all. I'm here truly to support the entire XRPL, at least the real ones that are out here trying to do the right thing, with the good intentions and stuff like that. I want to be able to have a voice, for them to come to a platform and put out what they're doing and all this other good stuff. So yeah, that's sort of like my number one focus. And we're coming from a YouTube onto the XRPL with the IBF transitioning into the XBF. So like it's definitely a new kind of transition, but we're incorporating everything we're about, like as far as uplifting the fellow individual and being there for support and onboarding and things like that, the education part of it. So we're transitioning that whole thing into the spaces as well. You probably got a good idea about the way I run my spaces by now.
You do a great job. Well, we're
I
happy to have
appreciate it.
you on the Dip a Toe show, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts on some things we're going to throw at you later.
Oh yeah.
Lady Dev, welcome to Dip a Toe. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, thank you. So I'm Lady Dev. I guess everybody calls me Lady, but I've been in crypto about 7 years. Just got married to my partner, who is also my coder, which is a lot of people think is weird, but we've been in the crypto forever. We have 8 kids.
8 kids?
Yeah, 8 kids.
Oh, nice.
All the way from 24 all the way down to 11s, and then we're done. We're done. No more. But yeah, so before him and I met, we were both in like really, really bad situations. So like that's kind of where the first lady comes from. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. I just didn't really have a place or a platform that I could see or envision doing it. And then I came over to XRPL and I met so many amazing people, Steak and Bake, one of them. And I just knew that this is where I had to do it. And so I created the NFTs at first, and then eventually the token will come. But 50% of every NFT sold is going directly to domestic abuse charities. So look, it's hard for me to talk about, especially on a video. By the way, this is the first time I've ever been on like a live video. Usually I just
we're so honored that you came on.
I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so our first donation we did about a week and a half ago, and we were able to donate a little over $5,000 to the shelter and the charity that actually helped me out.
That's fantastic.
It was a really special moment, and I cannot wait to do our next one. In Las Vegas, by the way.
We are super excited that you're here, and I definitely want you to talk more about it later in the show, because what you're doing is super duper important, and you have the capacity to inspire so many people that could literally do the same thing, and it could cause a chain reaction, right? You kind of thought outside the box of what everybody else is building and working on, and what a fantastic idea. So kudos to you. Thank you for coming on Dip a Toe.
Thank you.
Nerdy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Nerdy, baby.
Hey, everybody. might recognize me from Sundays with XRP Bags on Bullish Hour. I'm also on Coffee Time on Sunday, and also Bluminati Nights, which is a new show. Check us out on Monday nights, and the Boardroom on Tuesday. So we do XRP shows. We've been doing it for years now. I think like 2-3 years now. I'm also a XRP developer. Born in Canada. I live in California, so I'm operating from California. XRP developer. I'm currently developing right now with the JavaScript, but I'm trying to pivot to more faster and memory safe languages like Go, for example. That's been a trip. I'm also learning C++ right now, which I'm trying to get my degree for, which is that's pretty fun.
That's some old school stuff, man.
So right now I'm working on a project. The project that I'm working on, I haven't really talked about it too much, but it's basically an XRP ledger interface. I think the problem with onboarding right now is user interface where people who are not tech savvy see crypto and get confused, or they get flustered, they get overwhelmed. So I'm trying my best to create interfaces where we can onboard anyone and everyone to interact with the space.
I love it. I can't wait to hear more about it. We're gonna nail you down at towards the end of the show.
Whoa, this is a family show. You can't say stuff like that.
How long have you been in crypto, Nerdy?
Around 2017, 2018. My first purchase of crypto was I think it was Dash, and then from Dash I swapped it to Litecoin, and from Litecoin I bought XRP at like 18 cents, I think, and then from there on I've been in XRP ever since.
Wow. You're an old school. You're an old man Nerdy in the house. Well, we're happy that you came on the show.
Thank you for having me on.
I'm excited. Kombucha. Tell us a little bit of welcome to Dip a Toe. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, it won't be a surprise when I tell you I'm from the South, since obviously you can hear it in my voice. I know, I get that everywhere. So I've been in crypto for like 7 years. I was dating some guy. I won't tell you that story, but he like went on and on about how we have this new money coming and all this stuff. And he knew all this stuff like 7 years ago, and I was blown away, and I just thought he was really high or something. I didn't really believe it. But then, the passion, and I'm like, there is no way someone can be this passionate, spending literally every waking hour studying all this stuff and then not be real. So I decided to jump on board, and I bought my first little bit of XRP, then, and I've just been stacking it ever since and learning and growing. And I love the fact that you guys have this show because, for someone like me who's, not really tech savvy, or, I'm 52 years old, so I'm a little bit older than some of the people that's in this space. I'm not a millennial or anything like that. So I've had to, kind of catch up and learn. But it's been really cool though. I've gotten involved with some Discord group. I'm in with Melissa and Simon. I've met them last year at XRP Las Vegas. And every person that I have been, connected to in the XRP community has been some of the most passionate and most intelligent people that I've ever came across. And I'm just super excited about being here. I live in Tennessee. I run in the Airbnb business. So if you're ever in East Tennessee, please let me know. I can put you up for a few nights.
Alan Stable, go back and watch that right there. Alan Stable, go back and watch that right there.
Right. So, that's me, and I'm excited to learn more. I've got some cool things that I've been learning about. It really has to do with crypto, but it has less to do with like the system and how it's been building really since the beginning of time. So whenever we have a chance to really dive into our stuff, I'd love to, kind of touch on some of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Dip a Toe. You're the perfect person to be on here. Guys, we have 239 people. That's awesome. 240. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share this out. Get us some more folks in here. The whole reason for Dip a Toe is to, provide a place for newbies to come in and for people that are cutting, what do they call it? Cutting your legs, or I don't know, cutting your teeth, like pulling your pants on, whatever, to actually feel comfortable talking to other people about crypto. Because a lot of times I feel like we learn through teaching. And it's just really awesome to have a community of folks that are lifting each other up. And when we have a question, we have somebody that we can ask. And so just like Bully Steak and Bake was saying, he's not a coder, but he knows coders. He knows people. And so in the event his daughter has a home project and they're teaching him coding, he's gonna have somebody on speed dial. You can call up Nerdy and say, like, help me, what does this even mean right now? So I think it's fantastic that we have a variety of people here. Did you want to say something, Simon?
I do. I'm sure some of the people out there in the chat are laughing with me on this. I'm just imagining Steak and Bake in the phone call to like Nerdy. Hey man, my 8-year-old daughter says she needs this system for whatever. None of my stuff works in my house. Where do I start? you know what I mean? Just
100%.
She locked me out of the house. She got this smart technology, smart home stuff, man. She done got AI.
She got the vacuum cleaner chasing me, bro.
You know what, Simon? That's actually not too far-fetched.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Because what they are teaching in schools, they're teaching kids Python. And the reason why they're teaching kids Python is because it's for machine learning, right? So you're literally not that far off.
Yeah. I was going to get to the Python thing a little bit later in the go. But yeah, anyway, so that I just wanted to say that, Melissa, because
I think it's
I'm just imagining, parents worldwide, 10-year-olds.
Hey,
AI buddies, they don't want
a little kid
have
a phone and they know what to do.
The AI version,
yeah. The littles can understand things real easily. Real quick.
Yeah. Their world right now, it really is.
Yeah.
And I think it's fantastic, Steak and Bake, that so and anybody like Optimistic Prime, Lady Dev, you guys have children, they're watching you. They're listening to your conversations. They're watching what you're doing. They want to emulate whatever you're doing. And so what a tremendous gift that you're giving your children in showing them like, hey, look, mom and dad are doing it. We're learning. They're gonna take the reins and freaking surpass whatever we're probably doing, but you're giving them a tremendous leg up. And I think it's fantastic. I think it's so awesome. One of the things I wanted to talk about tonight is, newbies coming into the space. And, we all had our challenges. All of us have been in here for quite some time. What do you think are the best ways to get newbies involved? And do you have any kind of tips or information, like tips on overcoming information overload? Because I don't know if you guys are like me. I've kind of settled down a little bit with it. But when I first started learning, I was just like, yip. And I try to tell someone and they would just shut down, like eyes glaze over. And they're just like, then it got to the avoid Melissa stage at all costs. Don't make eye contact. And so I've learned that I just need to roll it back a little bit. And, and we started doing this Dip a Toe show, and I'm like, at some point they'll come and they'll watch, and I can do it my way without trying to force somebody to learn. But I'm just curious what your guys' take on that. And why don't we go around the room the same as we did? We'll start with Steak and Bake.
Yeah, Melissa, I was running into the same problem you did, where I was giving too much or coming out like with an overload, and either it was flying over people's heads or it was just too much for them to digest, right? So recently I really started simplifying it to what people relate to, and believe it or not, it's NFTs. pictures, a PFP, okay? And I would show them a PFP or a NFT, right? And I would tell them about the project. And I would say, this is part of this kind of project, and you get to actually accumulate. Let's say the first one I did was with a Chronos chain. So it opened up crypto.com for them, you know? And now, like a year later, it opened up the DeFi wallet for them. So now they're in the DeFi wallet. So I really dialed back into an easy way to introduce, especially the younger crowd, like my daughter, my son-in-law, even regular people that I talk to, like when they see my XRZilla shirt or they see me walking around with the XRP, um, I'm showing them an NFT, and this is how you get it. You open up this wallet, you download it, and then once it kind of opens up, it's like, hey, what's all this? This is the financing part of it. Now you get to invest in tokens and things of that nature. So it opens up dialogue that allows me to actually talk about it with them asking the questions, as opposed to me like overloading it from the jump, you know? So
Yep.
I really found NFTs being that like in the door for me. With my son-in-law, it was a gaming NFT. He's a shooter game player, so I had like a shooter game NFT. I was like, here, man, download this to your crypto.com, to your DeFi wallet. But first, you got to get crypto.com, right? And then you got to download the DeFi wallet. So you walk them through the steps. And then once they open it, it's like, yeah, this extra crow that you have, you could stake it in here, in VVS Finance or Tectonic or something like that. So now I'm doing the same thing with the XRPL, and I'm finding that it's working beautifully.
It's funny. I watched the DTCC conference today. There was one of those today, and they were going through their plans and methods and things that they were going to do. And after it was over, I got an email that said, the first 500 that click this gets a free NFT, a specialized NFT. And all you had to do, you didn't have, it said no wallet required. Just put your email in. So I said, I'll play, I'll bite. I put my email, in, and boom, it said, congratulations, here's this NFT. You gotta go get an Ethereum wallet. And so in order
Exactly.
to mint it, but so just like you said, it opens that conversation. And
Hmm.
that's what they're doing. That's what the big dogs are doing. That's how they're going to start bringing the folks in on their end. And I mean, the people that were watching the DTCC conference today, they're more probably like professionals that work in the industry, right? Just your average person's not watching those types of things like I do. Um, but I found it real interesting that they were dangling that little carrot and they used the NFT. So yeah,
I
kudos.
really find this so much easier once you open up the dialogue and you're getting questions out of them, that they're more like inclined to listen to you. Because if you're coming at them with just a ton of information, it's like, number one, the attention span is out the window, and they're just not interested in listening to information. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
want to know what they want to know. So if you're able to kind of tap into that part of it and open up the dialogue, it becomes more of a conversation and more of an interaction than talking to someone about it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really interesting. Yeah, I got a big kick out of it when I saw them do that. And of course I have to look up my Ethereum wallet. I've been I have my crypto is all locked down and secured, and so it's like not a quick little easy thing for me to do to give somebody my wallet address. So I got to work on that. But wow, we have 327 people. You guys are popular, huh? You're popular. So, well, Lady Dev had to step out for a second. Nerdy, how about you? Any suggestions on newbies and your experience with it?
Yeah. There's a stigma around crypto that crypto is for scammers. Crypto is for degenerates. Crypto is for people that are doing, miscellaneous things they shouldn't be
Illicit
doing.
things.
Yeah.
Bad
right.
things, bad people.
But here's the thing that people don't understand is that if you are already a licensed realtor, you're already a licensed whatever you have in whatever profession, you adopt NFTs and you start tokenizing your business and start offering a service in that kind of manner, you kind of change the game and now you're advanced, right? So it's more of like, yes, people have this stigma around it, but at the same time, if people want to learn, you can't force anyone to learn, but if someone is choosing to learn and wants to escalate their business to be future proofed, it's there, right? Now with kids and stuff, what that comes to is they're really big into gaming or whatever, right? Roblox is a big deal. Like the Roblox is like $1 billion industry, right? And people don't really understand that it's a kid's game, but that kid is actually the parent. $14, $15, $20. Mom, can I get this? Can I get that? Can I buy a shovel or whatever? But that is where this feature is going, right? Because you're going to see a Walmart coin, you're going to see a Target coin or whatever coin, right? So it's like the kids are in it, they don't even know that they're in it, but they're already using it and already part of the system and not even realizing, right? And so
good point.
I think for kids, if there were the thing about education and being a child and all this stuff, it comes from guidance, right? If you have a correct teacher telling the kid, hey, XYZ child, if you're interested in whatever you're interested in, how about you learn about how to make that your profession or how to make that or do something out of it, right? But it's like there's a lack of interest, maybe because kids don't have that exposure to what the industry is. And I think that's what it really is. It's lack of exposure. And I think more kids that have exposure to crypto and see it, they have a biggest imagination and their brains are going to start going off and then they're going to feel interested in wanting to learn. So I think it's one, exposure and not being so scared about it. Because right now, honestly, it is a degenerate casino. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, hey, you know what? There's a bright future for because we're moving into a gig economy,
Yes.
So it's like
big time.
All this stuff. It really matters. It really does matter.
Nerdy, I have a side question for you. You brought up the kids, and this is something I noticed, and I want your take on it. Have you noticed that kids these days versus maybe you or Steak and Bake or the rest of the panel here tonight? Our toy was a physical thing, and the kids these days, their toys is a digital thing. So, are you seeing like a transition from the physical to digital in the kid world, where the digital market is stealing the market from the physical? So no more Hot Wheels on the shelf; it's Hot Wheels on the phone.
Right.
100%.
I completely agree.
With 100% agree with that, but at this, like, you have to understand that we're moving into a tokenized economy, right? But the tokenized economy isn't for us; it's for Gen Alpha and their generation. None of this is for us. But but for the same way how we're introduced to gigapets, we were introduced to having iPods and Zunes and all this other stuff, right? Like that was our thing. Right, the little the cards with the flippy thing, the card with the cards. You watch the pictures. Like, that was our generation, right?
Right.
We grew up feeling like the coolest kids in the world when MP3 players came out. Oh, you can't touch me! I got an MP3 player. I got an RCA. Oh, you got a Sony. Oh, I got a CD player. Blah blah.
Yeah. Right.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? The phones went from cool flippy devices that were like a gadget, literally a go-go gadget, right, to a brick, right? And now that your brick is faster than your laptop, right, which is insane, right? So it's like, I think that kids we're moving into a very dangerous place where it's like consumer Either you're a buyer or a seller. Whether you have a kid that wants to create and people buy their product, or you have a bunch of kids that want to just consume their products, because we're seeing a bunch of young millionaires coming out of nowhere because of social media and because of all this stuff. So it's like you have kids that are creating content, but they're doing something, they're taking advantage of their little group that they have, or you have the other kids that are just consuming the content. So it's like that again comes down to the parent of what is the parent seeing their child, and where does the parent want their education to go. Like, hey, cool, you're popular, but do you know anything about business? Do you know anything about what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go with this? It's cool that you're popular. No one's mad at you about that. But at the same time, it's like, what are you gonna do with this? Do something with it. Like use it. It's there. It's open source.
How are you going to how are you going to profit from this? Right. You mentioned we're going to a gig economy. And I mean, I said that very simply. That's really actually very deep. And I understand that as we're all shifting into being our own business entrepreneurs, and that used to be like how do I want to say this? That used to not be a necessary thing, but I'm seeing it will be very necessary in the future. You should have a business or multiple businesses. You need to have some type of digital content service, etc., that you're able to put out there. And with my nephews, going back to NFTs, cryptos, because they would give me a whole bunch of crap over it, but they're finally now at the price go up. Oh, this is a thing, I can do this. But the way I got in the door was the gaming. I said, do you ever get hit up on social media about someone's got the super gem sword that can do all the cool stuff and hack through walls and blah blah blah? Oh yeah, I just came across this. That's a digital asset. Someone's selling something digital that you can use in your game. That's all crypto is in a roundabout way. Crypto is the currency. The coins you get from smashing someone's box and oh my gosh, I'm brain farting now. Whatever the game that is.
They've been programming it, Simon.
Yeah,
they've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, long time. Oh yeah,
long
time. But it clicks. Even like with my stepson, 22 years old. I'm like, bro, education, one-on-one mentorship. If you got knowledge on something, yes, you can charge for that. Don't overcharge, but just learn how to charge. You're going to need to do that, because in the world we're in, if you're not being able to do that for people, AI is going to take that loot from you, and someone will leverage AI to do it. And I'm not saying you'll be out, but you have to do this now. And that kind of gets into the parent thing that you mentioned there, Nerdy. Parents, you don't want to get into crypto. Cool. I get it. But you need to know what your kids are messing with. Right?
Yep. Yeah, this is their future.
Just know. Yeah, this is their future. Right. And this will be actually some of your future in the future. It just won't be at the same level. If tokenization, because tokenization is a real thing, it's happening, your retirement plan will be tokenized. If you just don't understand any basic mechanics of how that may or may not work, your kids might, hopefully they went down that route. But I'm just saying, be involved. It's you don't have to participate, but just knowing really is half that battle. So yeah, get involved, at least for your kids' sake. I agree.
Absolutely.
100%.
Fantastic conversation here. This is why we are so important in what we're doing, being the beta testers of this and constantly educating ourselves every day. You guys being there, showing your children, they will become leaders because they have the inside scoop, and parents that are going to push them to learn more and give them context and the other things that they're going to need to propel themselves into a job or doing something that they want to do with their life, right? This is an incredible opportunity. They can either be corralled into the system that they're building, because eventually everybody will just be mixed in with the cake batter, right? And just like we just said, they've been they've been doing this for years and years. Nobody really noticed, but they've slowly been programming the children just to be familiar with it in general. I mean, and they're doing it to the elderly with the apps, the ARP apps, and play these games, and you win coupons and tokens. Right? They don't know that they're participating. They're beta testing these things, and so for you guys to be doing what you're doing and teaching the littles, it's so important. And like I said, you're giving them a tremendous leg up. Lady Dev, you have so many children. What do you think about this conversation? What do you recommend for newbies, and what are your thoughts in terms of trying to get people learning about crypto? Have you had any challenges or successes with that?
I mean, I got my mom into crypto and my sister, but they pretty much go on to like Robinhood, which I'm so trying to get them off.
They all do.
But they're like, this is easy. And I'm like, so is crypto.com and so is Coinbase. I mean, like, come on. And then like I did get them into our my Ladybot token, so they are actually holders of Base and Ethereum. But it's so hard. Like my kids, like what you were talking about with like Roblox. My oldest boy that lives in the house, he turned 17 in like 2 weeks, and he codes for Roblox. He absolutely loves it. And
nice.
Him and my other son, his brother, they're constant. I'm like, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh, we're playing Roblox. I'm like, are you actually playing Roblox, or like, what are you doing? And he's like, no, I'm in the middle of this. And he'll show me like all this. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, I know what you're doing, but like coding's not my thing. and then Lick, he'll go in there and he's like, hey, do you guys need help with anything? And then like they're like, yeah, I'm stuck here, and he'll like kind of give them like a little way to get around like their issue, and they keep going. And I'm like, normally I'm like, oh, I hate Roblox, but like when they're coding, it just makes me so proud, because I'm like, you're doing something, and it can be a future thing, and you can grow up to do that.
How old are they? How old are these little guys?
They are almost 17 and just turned 15. So
fantastic. Good for them.
Yeah. And and then you got my daughters who are like, can I just have some money to buy this game? I'm like, two totally opposite, completely different. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you my $5, and then I'm going to go back to your brothers because they actually need money to do something. Like, and it's crazy. Yeah. Like, as far as like the getting people in, it's so hard. It really is a lot harder.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things, like Steak and Bake said. You do come to a realization that you can't force anybody. I always say I can't give you my oil. All the stuff that I've learned and I'm doing, I can't give it to you. I can give you like basic stuff. I can point you in the right direction and all of that, but I can't tell you I can't make you understand what I understand.
Right.
And so it makes it difficult. It makes it difficult for people.
Really
Kombucha. What about you? Any challenges with getting people interested in learning about crypto?
So for me, it's deciding who do I think is ready to even receive the information. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
smart.
I mean, honestly, it's just like, okay, are you paying with Cash App or Venmo or a credit card, or are you writing a check? You know what I'm saying? Just learning how to do those things for some people were really difficult, because a lot of times people just don't want to change. They want everything to stay the same. And regardless of what you want, the system's changing. And so one of the first questions I usually ask is, do you know about the new financial system? Do you know about how banks are going to be using money? Do you know that your bank account is eventually going to be closed and it's going to be turned to a wallet, in an institution? Do you know what these things mean? And so I usually try to just start, coming from how does it affect them in their life immediately today. And then as they get into it, then I say, well, if you could have invested in the internet before it was the internet, I mean,
Right.
how would it change your life? And then, I said, there's an opportunity right now. If you want to take it, I'm not pushing you, because whether you do it or not isn't going to affect me. But because I feel like you're ready to receive this information, I'm ready to share it with you. I'm actually talking to, I think he's 74 right now. And said to me last night, he goes, "This is so overwhelming." I'm like, "I know." I said, "I get I said, I totally get what you're saying." Because I've been talking to him about XRP for a while and that sort of thing. And then I told him about the movie, about the
XRP Unleashed. Yeah.
That's why I was asking you for that link. I said, look, because I told him he was an engineer and he now is semi-retired. He works like for this dealership thing where he'll like go to the dealership auctioneer place and like drive the Mercedes-Benz in for him and stuff like that, just for fun, 3 days a week. He's got like a daughter, and I think she's got kids too. And he was talking about how his savings account doesn't make him any money. And I'm like, well, that's just a waste of time. You're in a dead world. You need to come to the new world. What's happening here? So I said, for you to understand really what's going on, I said, you need to get this movie. I said, learn how the system has been set up against you. And then now, once you get the whole picture that, you are in a matrix, and you were taught to be a worker, you weren't taught to be an investor, you weren't taught to grow money or anything like that. I said, then I could help you. Let me show you what ISO 222 is, and then let's get involved in that, and then learn what's coming in the future. Like for instance, the upland. I was talking to a store owner yesterday. It's like you can actually buy these real world assets. And eventually, we're all going to be living in the metaverse. You and I might not be, but the kids might be. And you can own, real estate inside there where people can pay you rent if you put apartments in your location. Like I have one in Las Vegas that I own, and I have 2 in Detroit, Michigan, and I think 1 in Nashville. I've only been getting on it for a little while. Keita, one of our girlfriends up here, told us all about Upland, and I've been jumping on it. It's been fun. But it's like these are all such cool ways that people have no idea about. But like I said, my first thing is, are you open to even hearing what I have to say? Because if they're not like in a mindset of listening, it doesn't matter. No. Some people I'm like, okay, yeah, you have a closed mind. Well, I'm not even going to waste my time with you. But then there's these few, it's like, they are actually willing to open up about it. And I think
I might be ready to dip a toe.
That's right. I might be ready to dip a toe. Yeah. I had a 64-year-old today said, hey, listen, I need to learn about those cold wallets, or what do I need to do to get crypto? And I said, well, you already told me that you own XRP. He goes, yeah, I know. I said, well, you do own crypto. Yeah, he didn't even really understand that he was holding crypto, but he's not owning it because technically, if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. So,
sure. Which brings me to my next question. Perfect segue, Kombucha.
Seriously, done. That's like the next level. Once you get them convinced to buy and invest in themselves and their kids' future, now how do you secure that? That's like the key is how do you secure it? Because, I've heard some horror stories out there, and I definitely don't want to go down that road, trying to avoid it at all costs.
I do not blame you. So wallet recommendations and security is our next topic.
Melissa Nerdy would like to piggyback real quick.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
I comment on that really quick?
Absolutely.
What Lady Dev was saying about Roblox coding, I have a nephew. He's like, he gets in this daze with his little PC with all these RGB lights, and he gets in his little daze, and there's like, with his headphones, and it's like, yeah, bro, blah blah blah, and it's like they're in this little zone. It's wild. It's the wildest thing to see. But at the same time, it's like going to what Kombucha was talking about, and going back to what Simon we're talking about the AI stuff, is that people don't understand is what Kombucha said is what's happening, right? is that we're shifting from your account, whatever system, to a wallet where everyone is not only has a wallet, but is the wallet. Right. And like, that's what people are not really comprehending here, is that is 110% correct. Right. When you incorporate AI agents with blockchain, and you have tokenization that's on autopilot, right? This is a completely different world. Like, this is like our world that we grew up in, reset and like revamped, and like to the fullest, everything to the max. Like, it's a scary time, but at the same time, it's like, hey, if you know coding and you understand AI and you understand where this is going, again, to the parent or to the people who are old enough to have incentives, learn about this stuff. It's okay if it doesn't matter if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old. It's never too old to have a career shift. It's never too old to learn something new. It's never too old to be aware of something that is happening and change. Don't just resent something just because, I'm too scared, I feel stupid, or I don't know. Stop that. Read it, learn about it. You don't understand, big deal. You have a phone, you have Google, ask it. Like, you have an AI model, you have GPT, it's literally free. Talk to it. But
use the intelligence that you already have.
Use the internet how it was supposed to, like how it was designed to be.
Ask it questions, and then when it gives you garbage, press it further. There's a lot of things you put into AI, and you instinctively know that this is not the right answer, and so it doesn't remove your intelligence. It can enhance it by you'll get an answer back, and you're like, how do I ask this question a different way? It's really developing your vocabulary skills, the way that you structure questions, pushing back on points that are being made. I'm having great fun with AI, and I agree with you, Nerdy, too. And when you guys say that at the wallet is you, I mean, we are going to eventually, our identities, we will take control of our identities. We will take control of our medical records, and eventually we will be able to sign them out to give access to people when we say they can, and we can revoke it. We'll be able to revoke it. All of that stuff is coming. And so while some folks think it's a really scary time because they don't know, because it's the unknown, it's actually pretty scary what we live in right now, when you consider that everybody and their brother has your information. I mean, I got something sent to me through the mail the other day at work from the insurance company. And these guys sent the full out social security numbers, address, dates of birth, full name, everything through the mail in 2025. They're still doing that. And it's like, we see this on the internet where they're like, oh, someone got hacked in the insurance. I'm like, yeah, well, they've been sending out your stuff through the mail, so anybody can open it up and see your stuff anyway. So, it's kind of like we're heading in the right direction, but learning is key.
On that note, Melissa, I think people need to be aware. I know a lot of people aren't really. They think when you talk about all this stuff, it's conspiracy, whatever. But it's what I don't care.
I don't care either.
If you look into it, if you guys want to, look into how the world works, you have no security and you have no privacy. You have HIPAA is a lie. All of that is a lie. Your social security, your credit card information, all of that. Like, when people talk about central bank digital currencies and they say it's going to be, XYZ dystopian, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We're already there, bro.
Right.
That happened in 2001. I'm sorry to tell you, but when 2001 happened and they came up and they passed the FISA and Patriot Act, we lost. That was it. Like, that was it. So anything beyond that, and then 2020 happened, stamp. That was like, that's done. Okay, so get rid of the whole conspiracy nonsense, but understand that it's actually fact. But at the same time, it's educating yourself rather than seeing it as, it's not that. Get rid of the term conspiracy. Take that out of the window. That the term conspiracy itself is a conspiracy.
Yeah, look it up.
Right, they made that on purpose. But educate yourself. Knowledge is king, man. Like, if people talk about generational wealth gaps and bubble and all this stuff. The only difference between those people and us is education.
And
That is the only thing
$10,000,
different, right?
and $10,000.
Their kids,
Legit.
well, their kids go to private schools and they have trust funds. We don't have financial literacy, and we don't have trust funds, and we don't have any of the knowledge that they have. It's because we never seek it, because we're so stuck with this whole materialistic nonsense world that we live in. We're just buyers to them building, right? Like, again, there's only two people in the world, buyers and sellers. But
Exactly.
yeah, all I'm just saying is just change your perspective. Yeah,
I'll build off of that, Nerdy, because like our data is the alpha. Like they need our data. So it's about time times do change where we get compensated for our data. For us to give out our data, we need to be getting paid for that. You know what I mean? These companies can't operate and market the way they want to without our data. And that's the true alpha of each individual, man. So I'm waiting for that day to come along. I'm so waiting for that day to come along. Because everywhere that stores our data is getting hacked. You name it. IRS, banks, telecommunication companies.
Insurance
It doesn't
companies.
matter where it is. Yeah, they're snatching our information from everywhere, let alone soliciting it. So yeah, I can't wait for that day to come.
And that's the same reason why there's so much opportunity, right? It's because you have open source protocols that is free, anyone can use, and you can literally learn how machine language works, learn the different models of machine learning, learn how all the different consensus work, learn the different protocols, copy your private businesses, literally just copy and paste. Insurance agent, you can copy, you can take a whole insurance agent, tokenize it, and make it an automated system. Notarization, you can take all of notarization and put it on there and have a smart contract. Boom, you can take any business if you're willing enough to sit down and have a think tank, just write down a whole bunch of ideas and really have the drive to actually want to build things. The opportunity is crazy. So yes, it might be a scary time, but the opportunity is golden. Uber was made in 2008, 2007. Uber has now changed the whole game of taxi, of rideshare. You can be the next Uber if you were to really step back and think about where we are, right? Like, I don't think I went down this whole like Mean Buster and Berserker. We went down this road of, Black Pill and all these things. But at that same time, if you step back and look back, there's a plethora of freaking opportunity at your doorstep. All you have to do is go on YouTube and learn, bro. Like, information is free. When we grew up, we had to pay for education. We had to go to a community college, whatever, go to the library, check out books, find the little cards,
and it wasn't that good.
And it wasn't that good, right? Because it was Maxine. What's his face? It was the
Maxine Waters.
Not Waters. The Epstein people. Ghislaine Maxwell. The Ghislaine Maxwell's father wrote all the books. So all the everything we know is Maxwell's father's paid books that we learn from, right? So it's like you have the internet now. Like you even have language models. Like the ease to learn. Yeah, we live in abundance of information. So as people might say that we might be living in a dystopian times, I think we live in an abundance time where
we are living in the greatest time.
Yeah, if you have the will and the drive, you can make a really good life for yourself.
Amen. Kombucha, you had something that you want to say.
No, this is really strange, but today I watched this show called The Deep End, and they talk about a lot of things. Like, anyway, this lady today, her name is Lauren Sangler, and she took about 4 years, and she wrote this book called The Roots of the Federal Reserve. I don't know if anybody can see that or not. That's what it looks like.
Let me look it up. I'll try to share a screen just so people can see.
Tracing the Nephilim from Noah's time to the U.S. dollar. And she literally she literally goes like as far back as you can possibly go and traces how the money systems have been developed over time and changed and been tweaked to get us to adopt it in mass adoption, the control, just everything. I just found out about this book today, so I plan on ordering it. It is on Amazon, but it's called The Roots of the Federal Reserve. I just thought it was really interesting, and I thought this would be kind of cool to share with you guys because, I think one of the ways to really beat the system is to understand the system. You know,
You're not lying.
That's how, like, go ahead.
The saying, you will own nothing and be happy. Optimistic Prime, Amanda and I were talking about that the other day, and it's like you could look at that in a couple of ways. The dystopian way that people use it and listen to that, and it's the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and the fear mongering, and hold the little guy down, and they're gonna harm us or whatever. When in actuality, they own nothing and they're happy because they have trust and they know how to protect their assets, right? And the cool thing about crypto, when you get involved in crypto, whether you enter in through Bitcoin or what other blockchain that you decide to dip your toe in, it inspires you to learn about money and learn about the financial system and how things are structured. And once you start to gain a little bit of knowledge in that, and the more questions you have. And one thing I wanted to say to everyone here is that the cool thing about everyone that I've come across in this space is our desire to teach each other, because we could very well keep this stuff close to our vest, right? We don't have to share this information with anybody. We could just be learning about this while they quietly build what they're building. We don't have to shout it from the rooftops. We don't have to give you all hints of what to look into and what not to, and all of this kind of stuff. We don't have to do that, but we are. Why? Because we care about you. We want to empower you. We want to help you because it's happening right in front of your face. And so, every single person that's here tonight and that is watching, we have 518 people watching. You guys are all incredible human beings that are spending your time and your efforts to teach others and inspire others to learn about something that could change their life forever and maybe prevent themselves from getting rolled into the cake batter with everybody else, because that's what they're building. And I mean, let's face it, it has to be that way. The average person doesn't want to know any of this stuff, but there's a bunch of us out there that do. And we're trying to find you and we're trying to help you. So hopefully that resonated with at least one of the 520 people that are listening. And
go girl.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are very popular this evening. We've got a lot of comments in there. Sorry, Simon, go for it.
I was gonna say I could do a quick head count of who's crushing it on this panel tonight, as far as the where the most views are coming in. And it's this lady right down here, Lady Dev has the most views right now. Right? He's got 186 people watching through her extra account right now. So, Lady Dev, thank you so much for sharing this out and bringing your community to this community, which is a now bigger community. So, thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm losing right now with 12.
We're doing pretty good on time.
It's all good.
But so I want to just quickly touch on the wallets.
Yeah. Let's talk wallet.
We'll kind of go around. What do you recommend for newbies? What's your top security tips or recommendations? Do you have any preferred wallets for new people coming in? And let's I'm going to put Steak and Bake, if I can, back up where he was, and we'll get our order back in the way it was. Okay, so Steak and Bake, shoot.
Like security wise, definitely take down your wallet seed phrases without a question. Give it to 2 or 3 different people that you truly trust, and make sure it's not in watercolor or pencil or something like that, because if it gets wet, it's just going to wash away. So make sure it's in something permanent, number one. When it comes to like my conviction calls, I put them in a decent wallet. And I got this decent wallet from XRP Bags. He sent it to me. I won it one time in his chat. So he went and sent it to me. And what I do is, like, the bulk of my XRP is in there, the bulk of my HBAR, the bulk of my XLM, whatever I'm going to play with is kind of like on my Zaman wallet or my Lobster wallet or my Phantom wallet. But the stuff that I'm holding, like with full conviction until 2030, because that's really like my my crypto end game, I guess you could call it. It's always been 2030. Why? I just had a feeling like none of this was really going to work out with regulation, obviously, with the last administration. And then, of course, with any other administration that comes in, it's going to take a little while to implement everything and get all these railways working cohesively because this isn't just a country thing,
Thank you.
right? This is a global thing. So it's going to take some
Yes, sir.
time for it to, yeah, everybody's got to be on board at the same time. Now, there might
Hmm.
be glitches and where one shuts down and comes back online, another one shuts down, comes back online. And believe you me, that's them just getting everybody into cohesiveness, you know? And the United States will be last, will always last. And it's really for a reason because once we flip the switch is on, it stays on, you
Yep.
know?
Hmm.
So it's go time
Facts.
after that. But what
Facts.
I will tell you is even if you have like a separate phone or if you're holding a ledger or a decent wallet and stuff like that, get a Faraday bag because if something does wind up happening, radioactive, quantum, whatever the hell it is, it's the better way to protect it as well. So I do have like my decent wallet in a Faraday bag, and it's tucked away, man. So whenever I do want to go ahead and transfer more crypto to it, I'll take it out or whatever and just pop it in there. But then it goes right back in the Faraday bag.
Yep.
I'm that conspiracy theorist. I am that like overly protective, and yeah, I mean you have other like Caleb and Brown who kind of custodials things, and supposedly they have one of the better securities.
They're the over
But
the
I
counters, right?
Yeah,
They're over the
the
counter.
five
yeah
bucks. They use
yeah
$5.
Caleb and Brown is more or less over the counter, and they got to search for certain kind of assets. Like I'm pretty sure if I told them to go get me SHX or Velo or ZBCN, Zebek Network or something like that, they're gonna have to find a way to import that into whatever they're using, right?
Yep.
Whereas I have the wallets for it, I could set it up in one of these wallets and just kind of tuck it away, man. So I would say definitely get a backup plan. Faraday bag, bink. That's my thumbs up on that. Protects you extra, just in case things really do go kind of quantum. Are we to believe there isn't quantum? I don't know. When they're talking about it, it's to say we have it. It's just the way I look at things, man. Uh, they brought out cell phones when back in late 1990s, right? I
I
think the military
mean,
was running around with cell phones
I
in the
would say
60s,
I would say
70s, man.
early
It's like,
90s,
come
man.
on,
I mean,
bro.
pages were kind of getting phased out.
Yeah, it's just yeah, just be overprotective with your stuff. Don't
Yeah.
um don't click on the links that you're seeing. If you're seeing on X like yeah, free XRP or this,
Mm-mm.
that, and the other. Listen, no one is sending you free XRP. Nobody is sending you a free NFT. Like these are all like bait kind of what do you call those kind of sites? Phishing sites
Yeah.
where once you click on it, I mean, in some of these sites, you don't even need to put in your seed phrase. That's how scary it is. It- Before, you would have to put in your seed phrase to get wiped out. Now
Yeah.
it's like you click on a link and all of a sudden your wallet's drained. So, yeah, be super careful with everything you're doing. If you're inside these Telegram groups that you trust, and you're seeing something out there, refer to these groups.
Yeah.
If no one's heard about it, walk away from that thing. Don't even click it.
And
That's
that's
my.
why these communities are so important. What you're doing, Steak and Bake, what you do, Lady Dev, what you do, Nerdy, Simon, all the people in the chat, Stone with Coffee and Crypto in the morning, Mr. Zam, XRP Renegade. Well, he's the newbie, I think. But 589 chickens in the house.
He's been around.
Basically, 68J, CKJ. There are so many wonderful people in this community. And I mean, we're naming some XRP community folks here. There's most of these folks are XRP. but in every one of the whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum that you're into, whatever you're into, find your people, and don't act with emotion. And have a network. And that's what we're here for. That's what Dipato is here for. If we don't know the answer, we know somebody who does know the answer. So, just Lady Dev, what are your recommendations and opinions when it comes to wallets?
I mean, as far as like XRPL wallets, I mean, I use Zaman. I'm pretty basic, but I keep all my XRP in like Coinbase or something like that. I don't really keep too much on a Zaman wallet unless like I'm actually physically buying something or it's in the charity wallet.
So you're actually keeping it on an exchange. You're not keeping it on on your own. And so that's going to be we're gonna circle back to you because we're gonna talk about self custody and somebody custodying it and not your keys, not your crypto, and that conversation.
I mean, yeah, this gets really into the weeds real fast.
Yeah,
I mean, but keep going. I'm gonna. Where's the mute button? I'm gonna shut you up.
But so we'll circle back to you on that one. Nerdy recommendations, preferences when it comes to wallets and security and that sort of thing.
First grade level though, Nerdy. First grade level. Okay.
Don't go deep. Don't go deep.
This is the one. I have to do it.
Okay.
Decent Wallet, the best wallet to hold your crypto. Get your Decent Wallet today. Decent Wallet is safe. You can hold DAI, you can hold XRP, you can hold SHX. Decent Wallet. You can use a fingerprint sensor, or you can use the PIN number. Don't worry. Decent Wallet will keep you safe. But don't worry, it's not the wallet that keeps you safe. It's your seed phrase. Make sure you write down your seed phrase correctly and you store it right. Now here's a trick. You can get a bunch of washers and a screw for very cheap, and you could stamp in your words on washers and on that ring. And guess what? Now it's fireproof. Crazy. So you don't want to spend money on a bag? Get some washers and get a little dye from Harbor Freight. Save your seed phrase. Get a decent wallet. Save your stuff. Now, what Lady Dev was saying, if you want to be like Lady Dev and hold yourself on Zum, get yourself a Tangem card. A Zum Tangem card turns your software wallet into a hardware wallet. Wow! Get one today. It's easy to manage your keys.
Huh?
Yo,
our editor out there, our editor right there.
Today.
You need to chop that up. That's gonna be on.
He's hired by Decent. That's it, bro. You got a job after tonight.
Oh, that was fire, man.
But you can also get a Ledger Nano or get a one key. Doesn't matter. But it all depends. At the end of the day, it's the words, guys. It's the words that holds your assets, right? Because again, this is just cryptography. And with RSA and ES 25519, where we're all this is what this is you have a public key and you have a private key. This is your private key in encryption. This is your private key. What you share with people is your public key. Now, what the scary part with quantum, all this stuff is called reverse engineering, where a computer can get your public address or whatever and reverse engineer it and show your private seed phrase. Now, the trick with that is that you can have a wallet and never send any crypto out of it, only send crypto into it, and then you're safe because you have less exposure around the whole ecosystem. That's right. So best practices, happy digital journey.
That's right.
I love it.
I'm waiting for Decent to take a clip of this, and we're gonna see Nerdy all over the internet.
We totally should. We should have put him on the big screen, just Nerdy, so he could have done the commercial, and we could run the commercial on himself.
I got an idea. I got an idea after show. I'm going to share with you, Melissa, and it has to do with Las Vegas. With what just happened right there. Yeah. I got to talk to some people. Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
Kombucha, recommendations or preferences or thoughts on wallets and security.
The biggest thing I would say, I agree with everything that's been said so far. One thing that someone told me was if you have yourself on a cold wallet and you want to switch it, so say you have Bitcoin, you want to switch it into XRP, do that on an exchange. Don't do it inside the wallet, because what that does is it uses a third party. And when a third party has access into your wallet, then, well, they've got access now into your wallet. Basically, you've opened the door for someone. And so never trade inside your cold wallet. Always just move it to an exchange, do what you're going to do, and then move it back to your wallet. It might cost you a little bit more money or something on the fees, but
safe than sorry.
Safer is always better.
I like it. Well, let's get into the question of self-custody versus custody solutions. Your preference regarding that, and the difference between not your keys, not your crypto, self-custody. You have your own private key, and holding your assets on somewhere like a Coinbase or a Kraken or somewhere like that. The differences and what that means for folks. And I would like to kind of touch on reasons why someone would have some of their assets on an exchange, and why they would maybe want to hold a bulk of their asset off of an exchange. So Steak and Bake, you want to give some
Yeah, I could
opinions
touch on a couple of things with that.
Yeah, perfect.
Basically, with the exchanges, you're kind of connecting your bank account, your credit card, stuff like that to it. So that's more or less like your on and off ramp. And that's what you want to use as an on and off ramp for the most part. Um, I do not, I totally do not suggest holding your crypto, your conviction, what you truly believe is going to moon come this bull run. Do not keep that on the exchange. And I say this for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's just not your crypto, is the main thing. That is not your crypto. And if the exchange goes down, you lose your crypto. And that's point blank, period. It doesn't, I mean, a lot of people learned that with, what was the
Celsius.
Kraken? Yeah, there was a bunch of them.
Celsius.
Celsius, yes. And, it takes either a long time for you to actually get it. Well, look at SBF, right? SBF was another one.
Sank Bankman
Where,
Fried.
yeah.
FTX.
So it's like, when you learn and you get slapped in the face one time, you don't like getting slapped in the face a second time. So I highly recommend that you find yourself a cold storage wallet for you to send that to. And then from there, you jot down your keys and you're a lot more secure. The cool thing about some of these wallets as well, you got two-factor. Sometimes you could put like an extra PIN code, especially in the Zaman wallet. So it's not just Face ID, but you also have to, in order to send crypto and receive crypto and stuff like that. Well, not receive, but to send crypto, you would need not only your face recognition, but you would also need the password as well. And you can add two-factor, verification. So you have three levels of protecting your assets. So I would always say never use the exchange for your conviction calls. Uh, Definitely bring it back to the exchange to when you're looking to on ramp, off ramp at that point, but not to hold your crypto, not at all.
Now, I want to go to Lady Dev because I suspect, given that she holds her stuff on Coinbase, she
I
probably
know.
has a reason why. Because Lady Dev gives her money to charity.
Yeah.
And so her purpose, and I'm speaking for you. I don't mean to, but this is just my educated guess, is that
You're on point. So.
you're turning it over as quickly as you're taking it in, and so moving it back and forth to a cold storage wallet when you're going to turn around and cash it out and give it to charity is probably not time effective for you. Am I close to being right?
Yeah. For the most part, like I'll keep XRP on Coinbase in case I need to, and in case I'm ready to go with a charity right away, or if I'm shopping for charity or something along them lines. Sorry, my cat, she just had babies, so she's like super on my lap right now. And but yeah, so like for the most part, but I also have an LLC, so like everything runs through my Coinbase because of business reasons. So I always like to keep everything there so that I can kind of keep track of what's coming in and out, and also what goes to Zaman and things like that. But I mean, I do keep XRP on Zaman. I just like all my tokens and everything are in Zaman. I just like to keep my XRP there in case that there's always if there's an emergent situation or someone does need help right away, we can always be ready to act in that situation.
So in this case, so again, there's different use cases for or reasons for holding crypto. It doesn't sound like you're investing in crypto per se for yourself. You actually have a business where you're actively using crypto to help other people with, and so that is a different scenario. Can you, just for the audience, tell us why you've chose Coinbase as the place where you because there's other exchanges and things that you could do that with. Why did you choose Coinbase?
Coinbase is easy for me because I was able to get the Coinbase card and it just automatically able to link to my bank account or anything else. But I don't even cancel or like switch out. I don't cash out. I just use my Coinbase card. It's super easy. But I do that because it was just the easiest thing for me. And when I try to use crypto.com, I forgot my password and I tried to get back in. And even though I gave them all my information, they still locked me out. And here we are 3 years later, and I have crypto in there and they still won't let me have access. Wow. Even though I've sent in all of my information, my ID, everything, and they still won't let me in. So,
wow. One other thing I wanted to mention.
You're not the first one I heard about that. I've heard of quite a bit of people talk about crypto.com with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had bad issues with crypto.com, but Click uses it every day. So it's like, it's weird.
So Coinbase, you have a card which you can then access your crypto funds, right? You can change it over into spendable cash, correct?
Yeah, but I don't even have to do that. I can leave it in XRP and just spend it that way.
And just spend it. Okay. So here's the deal, guys. This is. So you are an early adopter, beta tester, whatever you want to call it. You are a living example of someone who is using this, how everybody else is going to be using it later. Yeah. Exactly. You're a living, breathing model of how you're able to use it, and you have your business that you have, and you've got your LLC and everything. So very cool. I want to talk. So when we talk about projects, I want to dive into that a little bit more. But before we get to that point, who didn't go yet? Was it Nerdy?
Yeah, I'll just go into it. I agree with both people. Both have valid points. Okay. I've used Coinbase card. Whatever Lady Dev said is 100% factual. You don't need to do a single thing. And the most beautiful part about it is all you do is just select the asset you want to spend. And it automatically changes in your account. And you just swipe the card and it just is taken from that asset that you selected. It's beautiful. I love it. Honestly, if anyone was in the trial for Uphold when they had Global ID, they had the XRP Black cards through Global ID and then the XRP debit card. I don't know if people remember that. That was back in the day. But it was the same concept of being able to spend your XRP directly from your account. So Uphold did have a card and then they removed it, just like Coinbase has. But back to what Staking Bake was saying, I keep my crypto on crypto.com personally, but I'm staking it. So I have Crow on crypto.com, but I'm staking it and earning yield on it. And that crypto literally just stays on that platform. I don't even touch it. It just gains yield for me. back to what Lady Deb was doing about having a crypto business, that's where things can get really smart and really slick, right? Is you can start start playing with taxes in a way, right? Where you have, let's just say you have an LLC, you have a business or something, right? If that company, that LLC is holding your crypto, right? When it comes to, capital gains or whatever, it's that company that it's paying it now. Now, what's happened is that you can be an employee of said business and pay yourself a dividend of the gains that you have. Well, this way you're avoiding the tax, right? Versus if you made that capital gains, you'd be taxed way more versus your business, and you're paying yourself. So it depends on which way you want to go. Caleb and Brown, this is where Caleb and Brown comes in, right, for this exact situation. So it honestly depends on your level of where you are with crypto, right? If you're just a holder, I highly suggest cold wallet, 100% cold wallet. If you're just hold XRP, cold wallet, Zum, perfect. Tandem card, set it a day. But if you have a business, like Lady Dev has a business and does it, Coinbase is actually a good place to start. They're actually pretty legit. Crypto.com, people have bad experiences, but it's also a good place to start. But it all depends. Different folks, different people have different things, but 100% for cold storage. They do have this new thing where you can have cold staking, where you can stake crypto. So you can have crypto on your cold storage wallet and then stake directly on the network without the crypto leaving your wallet. That is something that is possible now. So that's something that's cool. But personally, it all depends on your experience and what you want to do. But yeah, I highly agree with you guys. What you're just saying is cold wallets. I agree with cold wallets, but if you have a business, exchange is not actually a bad idea.
And that's why you always got to ask yourself, why are you getting into crypto? What are you going to use it for? What are you going to do? You have to ask these questions.
Well, and you won't
different
even
answers.
Most people won't ask that. Real talk. People shoot first, ask questions later. That's what most people do. I mean, how many did you think about your crypto journey strategy when you first got in? I'm going to say 90% of us is going to say a hard no on that. It's like, no, I just saw a price go up and I want a Lambo. So don't have my Lambo yet. This is a really long time standing, interesting conversation or topic of discussion, self-custody or custodial. And all parties here tonight are absolutely right. Really what Nerdy, I think, was really getting at, it comes down to your developed personal strategy. What's going to work for you today is working for you today. And if you're in that position to where you're actually thinking about tomorrow or a couple months down the road, a year down the road, or maybe you're at that level where you can actually finally think 10 years down the road, which honestly is a challenge for all of us, in any space. Because again, back to something that was said earlier, our schooling did not teach us to think 10 years down the road. The private schools may have did, but the school I went to was like, what's for lunch? Or is it Friday yet? And that still continues at work. Is it Friday yet? But I actually just want to share with the debaters something on the blockchain to really kind of maybe see a little bit of the back end of where we say, hey, you're not in control of these coins. And yes, you are. The difference between Coinbase and the Tangent wallet or the Decent wallet, right? It really comes down to control. How much control do you have on the bad day versus anything else? And so I wanted to share with the community here tonight. I can't wait for Cat's Meow. We gotta plug that at some point. Like 1 hour at Cat's Meow. Can we see it? Is it there? Bing. Here we go. Okay, so right now I've gone to XRP scan, and I have, this is the ledger. This is it. This is the boring stuff that's making us rich over time. And what we're looking at here is a Coinbase wallet. So Coinbase has multiple wallets, but in this wallet specifically, it has 8.5 million XRP. Now, when we buy coins from Coinbase, we have access to them, but not in the way of a cold storage or cold storage wallet or some other type of wallet like the Xamin wallet. And what I mean by that is when we do a transaction at Coinbase, Coinbase will approve that transaction and they will send it from their wallet. With XRP, we have a tag, right? Well, that tag is associated with our Coinbase account typically. Anybody else can jump in or correct me if I go off track here, please.
No, you're right.
Well, right. So on the but on a this is the on the right side, I just pulled up someone's address. I don't know who it is. It's got no names. I kind of like that. They only have 60 XRP in this air quotes wallet. They have the control of what goes on in here in this wallet. They approve all transactions. Where you think you have that over on Coinbase, you don't have the ultimate say. They are the ones that have the ultimate say. That's why they have that much XRP. It's everybody that's leaving their XRP on that exchange, plus the XRP they have in reserves in that wallet. I know that's kind of a lot, but
No,
it really comes down to control. Is that correct there, Nerdy?
yeah, you're right. Now I want to piggyback on what you're saying.
Yeah,
for better
piggyback,
understanding
bro.
while you're on this page. So, if you guys look up on the top left, it says address, and you have an address under the Coinbase name. So when you have you're a customer of Coinbase and you have a wallet address, this is why inputting your tag with the wallet that you're sending to is so important, because there's a public main wallet, which this one has 8.5 million XRP in, which sometimes if you send XRP without the tag, you may be able to call support, and support might be able to trace the transaction and send you back your amount so you can redo it and include the tag.
Yeah.
Some will do it, some don't. I've had 50-50 luck with that, but
right.
When you're dealing with crypto stuff, it is very, very important to make sure that the address is correct and the tag is correct, because you can end up in a loop where it goes into this massive pool of crypto. You could be part of it, and you're going to have to deal with tech support to deal with it. Now, back to the other screen, on the other side of the other screen, this goes back into what we're talking about with self-custody. Even though this person has 60 XRP in their account, as you've seen the balance, now this person has what you call the private seed phrase, which allows them to sign. Now with crypto, whenever you're sending transactions out, you have to sign for it, and the person that has the private seed phrase is able to sign for those transactions, right? This is why when you do anything with Coinbase, you need a Coinbase wallet in order to do all those things. Now, when a exchange is giving you an address, they're holding that seed phrase. So they have so that 60 XRP that you see in this wallet is actually Coinbase's. It's not yours. It's posted on your account as a user. Your funds are posted on their account, but technically speaking, they own those funds.
Right, exactly. Well said. Thank you, Nerdy, for doing that. Well, where'd I go?
Great point, Nerdy.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things that, like, even with cold storage, like something I help with my clients as well, which I really try to get them to go look at the ledger, go look at the blockchain. So let's say, you're doing like 2 times the security protection that Steak and Bake has talked about tonight. You got Faraday case in the fireproof bag, in like literally a semi-nuclear blast resistant safe, buried 6 feet underneath the ground with 6 feet wall of concrete all the way around it. Okay, maybe you're that deep, but you want to know how much crypto you have in that wallet. Well, if you write down your public key, or also known as your public address, right? The information I share with Nerdy, and Nerdy shares with me, and I send him XRP. He sends me an NFT. You can actually take that address, plop it into the search bar on XRP Scan or whatever network you're on, and voila, you will literally see, like what I just showed you here, your wallet. And what that does, though, is that enables you to see what's in the wallet that's yours, but you don't turn on your machine and connect the internet. And again, there's just another mitigating risk. So if you were to do what Nerdy was suggesting and Steak and Bake was suggesting tonight as well, of you could send crypto to that wallet, but not, or your cold storage, but you don't have to turn on your cold storage. You literally can come to the blockchain to see if it made it there or if it's in transit. I know it's boring, it's a little confusing, but really spend some time in there. You can just go to the blockchain, and if anybody got into your personal system, all they're going to see is that you more than likely just, well, what's their viewing history? This page. Great. They could be looking at anything here. Bag it. Let's do something else. They're cold storage. We can't get them. You know what I mean? It's a great deterrent. But Nerdy, thanks for that.
Yeah,
that feedback, man. That really.
If you guys don't mind, do you mind if I share my screen real quick and I can show people something about the address?
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna let Kombucha talk about wallets for a hot second, and then I definitely want you guys to have the opportunity to talk about your projects. We have about 20 minutes or so left, and then we'll head over into the X Spaces. So,
thank you, Melissa.
Super quick. If you guys have a Zum account, or you go to Zum right here where you say Nerdy X right here, I made that. This is my custom address. This is what you call a vanity address. So this is something cool that's different from Ethereum. With Ethereum, they call ENS, which you can have an Ethereum name address, which you can have whatever .eth. But the cool thing about XRP and the XRP ledger is you can have a legit custom address. Imagine having a bank account with your own custom account number. This is the same thing. So this is pretty cool. And this image that is pulling up is pulling it directly. I have what's called called a G avatar or Graftar. I forgot what it was called, but this is linked. This is an email that is linked to my profile that is pulling up my information. And because I'm verified on with KYC, you should see KYC is Zum. It's verified. So So these are little digital identity things that that the XRP ledger has, that was made for a reason. Because of the new financial system, you think about, ID, medical records, whatever. All this would be, again, to what Kombucha was saying, your wallet. Yeah, go ahead.
Fantastic. This is a great conversation. Like, this is why we keep circling back to wallets on all of these shows, the back to the basic shows, and now the faces of crypto, because it is really important for people to find their way around the wallet and really understand it. And there's so many different varieties out there, and so having conversations around it on a regular basis is really good. It's good for me, and it's good for the newbies. Kombucha, any opinions in regards to wallets and security and that sort of stuff?
I agree everything about what Steak and Bake was talking about. Faraday bags, like literally, I have a Faraday bag inside of a Faraday bag inside of a huge, like, I guess it's a fire safe box, that's waterproof and everything else. I mean, because I'm literally thinking about taking. All my
you got the 6 feet thick concrete. I love it. That's fire.
I have a 5G tower right beside my house. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I know for a fact at nighttime they turn those things up. I even have a Faraday cage over my bed because it does affect your sleep and the Wi-Fi and all that stuff. But no, I'm thinking about taking all of my seed phrases and burying them in different properties that I own. So that way, worst case scenario, I have access to get to something somewhere. Right. I mean, in my mind, you cannot have too many security layers. I just don't think you can. And you also can't trust everybody,
True. Yeah.
To be honest with you, I've felt like, I've talked to a lot of people about XRP. And I often wonder, when the prices go crazy, they're going to remember where they heard that from. And then they're going to come back and be like, oh, I bet she's got some money now. What are we going to do? How are we going to, get it? Yeah. It's not my fault you didn't, take my advice and get some for yourself. So some people take the shortcut. So I know that might be fear mongering and all that, but honestly, this world is going to get crazier and crazier the more things get tighter and tighter. And you just don't know how people are going to respond. So I just think that just taking as many safety precautions as possible. And I mean, I get paranoid all the time. I'm like, is there people following you? I pay attention to patterns. I pay attention to a lot of things like that. And I know that sounds absolutely crazy.
It doesn't sound crazy.
It doesn't, because all of us here, and I know probably about 90% of our chat that's here, plus who's watching on X, we actually are slowly, progressively coming to understand that we are going to be the new wealthy, not the elite, but the new wealthy. Wealthy people are very tight-lipped. They keep a tight network, right? I mean, very wealthy families hang out with very wealthy families, for a reason. Just like all of us, I wouldn't be surprised if we all got together and we had a private security meeting. Like, hey, what are you guys doing to address this issue?
Yeah.
That happens.
I'm
I
already
mean,
thinking
that's
about.
so no, you're. I mean, no, you're not. It's just when you're doing it by yourself, yeah, you might feel a little crazy, but no,
Yeah,
it's
it's like, you want
necessary.
to
It's
introduce
necessary to think of these
companies
things.
on security access.
Yep.
Who's going to have like the safest security system? Who's going to have the safest phone? I mean, I want a phone that's like non-traceable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have anything out there that, especially as everything is smart, everything, they could turn your house on and off at will, regardless if you're a millionaire. How you
Exactly.
survive that. So I just look at all the ins and outs and I try to figure out what's the best. And the cool thing is because we're in this community, the more information that we gain, the more we can share with each other, and we all rise together.
We
That's
all
my-
do rise together, don't we?
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, guys, we've got
20 minutes.
under 20
Less than
minutes.
that.
So I want to try to do this in 15 minutes, and I want to get everybody opportunity to talk about what they're doing, how people can find you. I do want to let everybody know that we are going to have the X space at 10 p.m. over on X. I popped the link in the chat. If you can't see it in the chat, just search out at Dipito Show, and you will find the link for the space there. And it will start at 10 o'clock right after we exit from here. We're going to pop over there. And because there's been so many people in the chat with questions and comments, and I implore you guys to please come over to there and come up on stage and ask your questions. It's going to be a lot of fun. And for the 651 people that are watching, we love you guys. This is fantastic. I think this is the most people we've ever had on a live show. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel and help us grow. And with that, Steak and Bake, please tell our audience what you're up to and how they can find you.
Absolutely. Before I get into that, I do want to just make everybody aware of one thing. As technology gets better, the thieves get better too. As technology gets smarter for us, they get an upper edge as well. So just always keep that in the back of your mind, you know. Always second guess any kind of links you guys are clicking. You see these days, like, people are getting their X accounts hacked, and they're, impostering people, and they're getting people to actually engage in some of these links that they're putting out there in these like DMs. So just be extra careful out there is what I just wanted to, reinforce with everybody. As far as what Steak and Bake's doing, man, I am everywhere right now. I'm on the Dip and Toe show. Do you guys believe this? Oh my God, I'm like in awe right now. Hanging out with my girl, Lady Dev. I got Kombucha over here. I got Nerdy. Oh my Lord, Simon, Melissa. Jesus, man, this has been a true honor. Thank you so much for inviting me up today. And crypto's my passion. So, like, we're everywhere on YouTube, CKJ Crypto News. I'm a moderator there. We're in the IDF Telegram group where it's everything crypto, all blockchains. There's no maxis whatsoever. Super duper up to date information. If you ever had a question about something that you're looking at in crypto, how to onboard, how to get into a wallet, we could walk you through everything in that Telegram group. Really awesome people. XRZillas is XBF. I'm also in that Telegram as well. We can always help you out as far as setting up trust lines and what have you with that. I'm also on X at TG. Oh my Lord. It's a 364. I don't know, man. I set up this TG back in like 2020, 2021 or something like that.
TG
I was,
3468591.
there you go.
Boom.
Yeah, remember that. But yeah, you'll find me in the space after here. Definitely shoot me a follow. You can always ask me any kind of questions. I'm pretty open to anybody. And yeah, man, I run spaces every Friday, usually in between 6:30. I'll pop open the space, and on Sundays at 12 noon. So Fridays, I really try to either highlight someone that week. I've done Lady Dev. You saw me do um, Optimistic Prime last week, and this week is for Liam AI. Uh, Really awesome guy. I had a chance to really get to know him, his project. It's unbelievable, this man's story, his resume, the innovation technology that he has coming for the XRPL. Guys, it's going to blow your flipping minds. Like, I really encourage all of you to join us this Friday, 6 p.m., and learn about Liam AI. Um, and really, that's what we're all about, man. Just really encouraging people to take the right steps and participate the right way with either Telegram groups, spaces. We want to educate people on Sundays how to use the AMM pools, how to be good participants there. I think Sundays is more or less like the whole educational part about
Yeah.
the
Really
XRPL or
good.
blockchain or what have you with
So
it.
good.
So we definitely want to make sure people are, feeling comfortable enough to participate in some of these mechanisms that we have on the XRPL. They're pretty complex, but when you get the correct way on how to engage with it, and just the actions alone, right? What actions do I have to take is what everybody's asking. And if we could just kind of keep it simplistic, very digestible for everybody to go ahead and at least feel comfortable to partake in it, I think we've done our job there. And then, like I said, on Fridays, man, it's like it's a free for all. Sometimes these these spaces start at 6. Sometimes they end at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. It's wild.
What time? Amy, awesome. Amy wants to know what time zone.
Eastern time zone.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for that. I did put your handle in the chat for those of you who are wanting to find Steak and Bake. I also put everybody else's in the chat too. We've got 13 minutes left. Lady
Thank you,
Deb,
Melissa. Sorry, took
thank
over.
you. No, absolutely not. I love
No, thank you,
hearing
Steak and
about what
Bake.
you're doing.
Honored for you to be here.
Absolutely. Lady Dev, tell us what you're doing.
What I'm doing, I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Right now we are minting out of our collection. We have a token coming, but right now I'm just worried about trying to mint out so we can get our next charity donation done. I'd really like to do it live in Vegas with Steak and Bake and every other project that wants to be a part of it. So like that's really what I'm working towards at the very moment. But yeah, you can find me on X or even in our First Lady Telegram, and I'm always there to answer questions. And I will be also in the spaces after this too. So I don't want to take up too much time. So
no, one thing I do want to know. So we do have 10 minutes. So one thing I do want to know is your concept for what you're doing is you're using crypto, you're selling NFTs, you're raising money to donate, right? So can you go into that briefly just so people understand what you're doing? Because it's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So okay, so our NFTs, what it is our second collection right now, I have not changed it back, is actually only 7 XRP each. It is a really large collection. And so it's in, but a lot of people that couldn't get in the first one, the reason they couldn't get in is because they couldn't afford 45 XRP. So I figured, okay, let's do the second collection. Let's do it a lot cheaper. Let's let people get in and help the way that they would, that they could see helping. And then they get a little bit out of it. Every NFT does have utility behind it. once the token goes live, there is giver staking, which every lady NFT gives you a 10% APY boost within their staking platform. So all you have to do is hold a lady NFT, and you get a boost on your staking if for whatever token goes through the platform there. But yeah, so every 50% of every single NFT sold goes directly to the charity wallet. Right now on the second collection, we've only had about 400 XRP, if that, being sold out. So it's still kind of minimum. Every donation I like to give out is about $5,000, is the cap that I want to leave it at, so that we can give out as much as possible to as many shelters and charities as possible.
Wow. And you guys do you do live videos and stuff, so people can actually see what you do also, right? Which kind of brings them into the fold. And how many times do you donate to something and actually get to see where your money's going? That's fantastic.
You don't, and to be honest with you, it took me 2 weeks to figure out which charity or which shelter I should actually physically go to. Because a lot of the times when you're donating to charity, you have to pay attention, because it will go to like the shelter overhead versus the actual people you're helping. And so like a couple of them that we called and we were speaking with, they wanted, it was like, if I donated $5,000, right? And it was just cash donation, and I didn't go shopping or anything like that. And I just took $5,000 to them. 70% of that 5,000 would go directly to basically them. And then the other rest of it would go to like the shelter and the things that they're doing. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that, because if I do that, then why am I donating $5,000? You know, Right. It's not like you're getting it. And so I took the time and I called around, and that's what I'm going to keep doing, because I don't want 70% to go to their pockets versus the people that are really struggling and needing help with domestic abuse and the kids. Because I mean, my kids, I can tell you right now, if I didn't have the people around me, they'd be struggling, because we left with nothing, you know. And I literally started from ground zero. So, and I had people around me that I didn't have to, you know, go to a shelter and get that kind of help. But if I had, you know, I'd rather someone that is doing what I'm doing be able to find somewhere that could do that. And so that's been kind of my mission, and I won't stop until I find that right charity, and we'll keep going.
We're going to have you back on Dip a Toe for sure. Because there's more to this story, and I know that our audience would love for us to take a whole hour of listening to what you're doing, what Steak and Bake's doing, of course, what Nerdy's doing, what Kombucha's doing. So, fantastic. And we can talk more about it too if you're able to come
I will be in the
after space. Awesome. Nerdy, what are you doing? What's up your sleeve that you don't tell anybody about, Hardy?
Right now, so I started a company, NRDX Lab, and what I'm focusing on is XRP ledger development, Hyperledger, Interledger, utilizing Tiger Beetle, and I really want to focus on Casper network. My goal is to right now, what I'm working on is interoperability, a whole interoperable interface platform, basically, where I'm trying to make onboarding as easy as possible. I think that there is something that needs to be solved, and besides that, I do the podcast. So join us on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday for those shows. But I'm trying my best to educate people, get rid of all the FUD and all this, like this fairy tale stigma that's around crypto, and trying to tell people, like, you know what, the actual real story behind crypto and where this is going is way more exciting and way more bullish than, you know, some magical thing that's going to happen. And I just think that this is a golden opportunity. I'm trying my best to get people to pay attention to this opportunity that's happening. And the whole point of my company is to basically create solutions for other enterprises where we can not only onboard regular folks, but onboard companies, small businesses, and also medium-sized businesses into the ecosystem.
Let's go, Nerdy.
Huh?
Nerdy, are you going to stick around are you going to come to Spaces?
I sure am.
Yeah, I'll join.
Okay, cool.
Fantastic.
I want to literally address what you just said there, in the onboarding for small businesses. I want to hear
We
your
got
thoughts on that. But
we
let's
got
get- we'll get to that later.
682 people listening right now. Please, you guys, you got to follow us over there when we start up the spaces, because there's who knows what's going to happen when we're talking. It's going to be fantastic. Nerdy, thank you so much for coming. You guys keep your eye on this guy. He's no joke. He's a very intelligent young man, and he's building stuff that he wants to help humanity. So we can't thank you enough for you guys coming on.
Thank you.
Kombucha, what about you? What do you got going on?
Well, I'm not a developer or anything like that. Like I said, I run an Airbnb business in Tennessee. However, I am going to be in XRP Las Vegas. So if there's people who are going to be coming to that, we've got some amazing, like after the conference events going on. And I'm just super excited to meet as many XRP community people as possible. And follow me on X. I don't have a lot of people on there right now because I'm just now really getting into the spaces and stuff. And I'm so thankful for the show, for Dipito, for Simon, Melissa. You guys do so much to help so many people. And it definitely shows all the hard work that you put in. And thanks to the panel for everything that you guys have contributed. It was really nice to be on here with all of you guys. And I'm just excited for the future.
Oh, well, we love you. We appreciate that you came. You are perfect. Average person, normal person, dipping your toe into the crypto. And for those of you who don't know, we are Alan Staple and Digital Outlook Dave and Judy and the Dipito Show and Tio Trini are throwing a pre-party on Thursday evening. Kombucha is going to be helping me with the pre-party again this year. So if you guys go, you need to RSVP to xrpcommunitysocial@gmail.com. Let us know the number in your party, what you want on your name badge, because you ain't getting in without pre-registering. But you get a chance to meet us there. So in any event, guys, we're going to head over into the spaces. We love you all. Simon, any final quick words?
Just think and grow and dip that toe. See you on next week.
We love you guys. We will see you over.